over 90% of all the excess heat trapped on Earth. And without them, temperatures would have already soared by almost 100 degrees. But they can only take so much. Climate change is being driven by greenhouse gas emissions, threatening our planet and straining our oceans. You can help. Join Oceana today to protect our oceans at oceana.org/hero.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM at HD1 San Francisco. An Odyssey station.
Good morning!
It's time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game.
Come on!
Good morning, Bay Area. It is the Pregame Show. I'm your host for the next hour here on 95.7 The Game, Joe Spadoni. And we got a lot to get into. First off, if you're just getting off work, getting ready for school, getting ready for vacation, whatever you're doing, appreciate you hopping on this morning with me. And you know the number to get involved in the show. There's multiple ways to get involved, not just calling or texting the Xfinity mobile text line at 888-957-9570. That's always welcome here on the Pregame Show. You can also hit us up on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Good morning, Dublin Marge. Early. Dublin up early, Dublin Marge. Let's go. Trey Area. Whew. We'll get into that a little bit. You know what Kyle Shanahan had to say at his press conference? We'll get into Kyle Shanahan because this guy, if he didn't win, but he does, I get it. He wins a lot. Some of his little antics with the media and stuff, I'll get into it. Let's just say that. We had a debut last night. Yes, we had a debut, major league debut for Kyle Harrison, the young phenom pitcher we've been talking about him forever with the Giants. Well, welcome to the show, kid.
And he drives that one out of the gap in right center. It is gone. Up over the right center field wall for a 2-run homer. He's hot.
He's hot. Bryce Harper, 2-run bomb ski. Welcome to the show, Kyle Harrison. 3 1/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. Has a 5.40 ERA now. But the 5 strikeouts were nice. From what I saw there, and if we're just judging it off that, thought he pitched fine. It was funny. After the game was over, they had a graphic at NBC Sports Bay Area, did their pre and post game. And it was Matt Cain in 2005, whatever, made his major league debut. He had 103 pitches in his major league debut. 103. Kyle Harrison yesterday, 65. 3 1/3. That's obviously different philosophies, different time, yada, yada, yada. But it was just wild. The juxtaposition of 18 years ago. God, 18 years. 105 for Matt Cain. 5 innings, too. But Kyle Harrison yesterday, hey, welcome to the bigs. Get that out of the way. Move past it. Hopefully he could be a much-needed shot in the arm down the stretch here for the Giants because they had yet another loss yesterday, and it was heartbreaking.
Another 2-2. Turner up the middle. It hit Doval and bounced away from Estrada, and that is going to win the game for the Phillies. A walk-off against Camilo.
Dave Fleming on the call there, NBC Sports Bay Area. As yes, the Giants fall to the Philadelphia Phillies 4-2-3. Phillies improved to 69-57. Giants fading fast, 65-61 now. They're 30-33 on the road this year, and they are out currently. If the season ended today, they are not in the wild card round. They are a half game back of the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are red hot. They've won 4 in a row. They're 8-2 in their last 10. Giants 3-7, and they're still technically behind the Cincinnati Reds. So you got the Phillies up there at 69-57. They have a 3.5 game lead over second place Chicago and Arizona, both of which are tied in that column. Arizona with one more loss than Chicago, but 66-61 and 65-60 respectively for those two clubs. All right. Well, that was the Giants for today. Unless you want to keep talking about them, 888-957-9570. Because, I mean, what more is there to say? It's not good. Not a good team right now. It's disappointing. And listen, I was on this show. I was on the Morning Roast a few weeks ago. I was clamoring for Giants fans. What is it about this team that you don't want to get behind? Well, looks like I have a little egg on my face, and Giants fans are smarter than I. They knew what was coming. They knew that Farhan didn't believe in them at the deadline. He didn't go out and do any trades, do nothing outside of A.J. Pollock, who's on the IL. He didn't do anything. So if Giants fans are like, I'm not going to do anything either. I'm going to turn off the TV, go outside, go skateboarding. It's never a very good skateboard. I tried. 07, 08, 09. My skater boy scene, shout out Avril Lavigne, wasn't very good. Also, I ride Mongo. For those of you in the know, I believe it's been a while since I've been on a board. Is that when I push regular, but I'm on the goofy side? See, a lot of this skateboarding lingo jargon. Help me out, text line at 888-957-9570. I believe that's what it is. Mongo skateboarding, as I digress here. It's a regular push, and I'm on goofy side. Okay, there you go. So yeah, I was right. Speaking of being right, as we shift over from the Giants, we'll continue to take your calls and text on that if you would like, 888-957-9570. But Brian Baldinger joined the show yesterday. The Morning Roast, not my show. And it's Baldy. He knows his stuff. NFL Network analyst, former NFL offensive lineman, Baldy breakdowns, 95% of the game, NFL insider. He knows his stuff. Does all the breakdowns. He's tapped in with every single team around the league. Knows all the young guys, all the old guys. He knows everyone. He lives and breathes this stuff. So when I hear him say something like this with Bonte and Shasky yesterday, I don't scoff at it.
I would agree. I don't think there's anything they can't do. It won't be able to do when they get all the horses up front on the offensive line and you get the tight end, the fullback. I mean, Brock looked really good.
I did not set that up well. That wasn't the cut I was expecting. So it's flag on me. But that was in regards to Joe Shasky asking the question of, is this the best 49ers offense Shanahan has ever had? Now let's play that again.
I would agree. I don't think there's anything they can't do. It won't be able to do when they get all the horses up front on the offensive line and you get the tight end, the fullback. I mean, Brock looked really good.
Brock looked really good. See, am I the only one that's just like, he looks fine? Like, were people really blown away by Brock Purdy last week? I mean, he had that one nice throw rolling out to his left. He had a safety dropping down on Jennings, and it was kind of a tight window. All right. Looked fine. Looked like Brock. That's all I wanted. It wasn't amazing, but we just wanted to see him complete some passes. That's what we wanted. And that first one on Debo, by the way, where it was so much yak, 40 yarder, whatever it was. He almost kind of missed him. Debo to go down there, not immaculate deception levels, picking that ball up from the ground, but it was low. His first pass, get that one out of the way, but he was fine. He was fine. But to Baldy's overarching point, this is the best 49ers offense Kyle Shanahan has ever had. Now, it was interesting. I was, again, listening to the Morning Roast, as I do every day, because I am the technical producer for the show. But they were discussing yesterday, Bonte and Shasky, in that last segment, and you can go back and watch that on the Odyssey app. Just download that bad boy and favorite 95.7 The Game. And, they were comparing this 49ers offense to the Atlanta Falcons, the one that went to the Super Bowl back in 2016, the one that blew it in the Super Bowl. That was a special year. We all remember it. You had Julio Jones, you had Devontae Freeman, hell, Tevin Coleman was on that team, you had Austin Hooper, you had all these guys. Taylor Gabriel. It was a really stacked team. It was fun to watch. Matt Ryan, MVP, first team All-Pro, yada yada, best season he ever had. Probably should have won the Super Bowl, but there's a man named Tom Brady, greatest comeback in probably North American sports history. I mean, given the championship, given the level of competition, all that sort of stuff, I would say so. It's up there at least. So we were comparing that season of the Atlanta Falcons to a 49ers. And can the Niners surpass that season? And basically, Joe Shasky was like, I think they can, because I think I've seen enough from Brock Purdy last year. I saw enough from him to say, you know what? I'm taking Brock over Matt Ryan right now. And it turned into a whole big thing. Turned into Brock versus Matt Ryan. We get it. For Matt Ryan's career, most of us would be taking him. Joe's like, you know what? I haven't seen Brock Purdy fail the way I've seen Matt Ryan fail yet. So I'm going to take the unknown with Brock still. That's fair. Totally fair. I think it's kind of wild, but fair nonetheless. So are we looking at a potentially, I say potentially, historic season on the offensive side of the football for the San Francisco 49ers? 888-957-9570. Are we looking for a historic season for this squad? Because you just heard Baldy. It's the best Niners offense Shanahan has ever had. You got McCaffrey. You got your guy at quarterback now. John Lynch's words, not mine. GM of the San Francisco 49ers. The guy. You got Kittle. Debo, Ayuk, Elijah backing up, CMC. You got big Trent Williams on the left side. Depth still a concern for the offensive line, no doubt. It's a concern. One of those guys goes down stuff, but you know what? I've seen it time in and time out with Kyle Shanahan. He just gets it done. He just gets it done. I don't care. These guys can go down, and I have no doubt. They might slow down a little bit, but it feels like they never skip a beat. At least it feels like that. 888-957-9570 is the number. And if you just look at some of the best offenses in the history of the NFL, you can go back to the 2018 Kansas City Chiefs. Total yards per game, 425. They were first that year. 309 passing yards, 115 rushing, points per game. They're averaging 35 points per game. That's a common theme you're going to see here. You think of the 07 Patriots, probably the greatest team I've ever seen in my lifetime, and probably a lot of people. Maybe you're taking that Chiefs team. Maybe you're taking the Broncos of a few years ago. But that 07 Pats team, right? Undefeated all the way up to the Super Bowl. 411 yards per game first. 295 yards passing first. Rushing yards 115, 13th. And the points per game were 36.8. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. 36? And then, the only other one to top that, 2013 Denver Broncos, 37.9 points per game. Unreal. I think the Niners could be in that mix. I do. Do you think I'm crazy? 888-957-9570. I think they can at least be above 30 points per game. And why not into the 35s? You have all the weapons around there. The 49ers have their guy in Brock Purdy. Again, that's GM John Lynch. Their guy. Getting comps to Zach Thomas. Hall of Famer. You might be saying, Zach Thomas is a linebacker. What the hell are you talking about? Well, that was the comp. Kind of punching above your weight class. That was the argument he was making. So what say you? I'm saying this is going to be a historic season for the 49ers. I'm ready to stick my chest out and say, it could be one of the top 5, maybe the best season in 49ers history in terms of offense. Is that crazy to say? 888-957-9570. I know it's not Joe Montana. It's not Steve Young. It's Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy. I get that. But what they were able to do last season, many don't think it's sustainable, that 8-game stretch. Why not? If Brock stays healthy, and that's been the caveat all offseason, is if he stays healthy, if he stays healthy. Well, in this hypothetical, he's staying healthy, then the Niners are going to be one of the greatest offenses in NFL history. Just simple as that. Because I can only go off what I've seen from Brock in the past. And what I saw was a top 10 and at times top 5 quarterback play from Mr. Irrelevant himself out of Iowa State. Good morning to all of you on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union, Morali, El Guero, EJ, Dublin Marge. Brock's strength is, I hate this little, I gotta say, I hate this thing on YouTube where it's like, there's the big heart emoji, so I can do like a quick, heart or something like that. And it bothers me because it covers up some of your guys' nice text, and I'm trying to get that right word. Is it competence? Brock's strength is his mild, competent demeanor. Thank you, Dublin Marge, for chiming in. Yes, he's very calm, cool, collected. Some would say he's like a Joe Cool, if you will. I'm not comparing him to Joe Montana, relax. But some 49er fans were calling in after he made his debut with the Dolphins like, this guy is Joe Montana. I kid you not. People were calling in saying that. We've gotten many Drew Brees comps. Again, I got a Zach Thomas comp from John Lynch. Like, this guy's getting compared to Hall of Famers. Okay. Then if he's getting compared to those guys, I want to see one of the greatest offenses in NFL history this season. With those weapons and those comps, that's what I want to see. That's what I need to see this year in order for me to think this Niners team's winning a Super Bowl. Because the conversation prior to Brock is, Jimmy, he's just not getting the best out of these guys. And maybe that's not fair because Christian McCaffrey, I will say this, opened up a lot for this team. Opened up everything. The idea of a dump off to Christian McCaffrey now being a high level play, a high quality play, that's a real thing. A dump off to CMC is as good as a bomb for some guys. It's as good as a 20-yard pass. This guy scampers for 10, 15, 20 yards at times. So hard to bring down. And you'd think for his size, he wouldn't be the strongest guy. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry. He's pretty damn strong. I was shocked to see how strong he was, especially in that NFC Championship game, breaking all the tackles that he did against the Philadelphia Eagles, coupled with the shiftiness, the quick cuts. We know that the burst, the speed. That's why I got drafted in the top 10 out of Stanford. But seeing it up close and personal was something else. Absolutely. Good morning to the Xfinity mobile text line. Where is Bosa? Well, 925. Here's Kyle Shanahan speaking to the media yesterday and asked if his feeling about Bosa has changed over the last few months in regards to the holdout. Take a listen.
15 days ago now, you were not at all stressed about Nick Bosa not being here. How are you feeling today?
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed. Calm, cool, succinct. Now, here's more from Shanahan on, the Bosa negotiations going exactly as he expected.
No, it's going pretty much exactly how I expected it to go. It's kind of just been exactly what I thought.
You expected it to go this long?
Yeah, I had a feeling it would.
When do you expect it to end?
Hopefully sooner than later.
Hopefully sooner than later. Thanks, Kyle. That really narrows it down. Finally, on Nick Bosa, how long will Bosa need to be ready for game action?
You never know until you put him through that. So, I think Bosa's first year here, he got I think it was a high ankle sprain. I think he went like the first week of practice, and then we didn't see him again until the Wednesday versus Tampa Bay, and he played in that game. So it's different for every player. I have as much confidence with Nick as any player I've ever been around. You always want it to be more time. I wish it was 3 weeks. I wish it was 5 weeks, but not sure how many weeks it's going to be, but you always would like more.
888-957-9570. Nick Bosa, how are we feeling about that? Apparently he is in New York, was there yesterday. His agent lives out over there. the deal going to get done? We shall see. But Bosa not near training camp, doing his own thing, off to the side. We shall see. But until something happens, the closer we get to week 1, the panic starts creeping in a little bit more. Just a little bit. Shout out 50 Cent. Not quite a 50 Cent Friday. It's a wacky Wednesday here. Maybe a Wu-Tang Wednesday. We'll see. Got a lot of Wu-Tang beds. It's from another show, though, the Wu-Tang Wednesdays. Previous morning show. From the 650 on the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570, Brock needs to win a Super Bowl. But even then, people are going to say they need to see more. See, no. I mean, yes and no, because what do we love as fan bases? We love to crush a quarterback no matter what. They could win a million Super Bowls, and we can still crush them. Hell, look at Tom Brady, late in New England. Crushing that guy. Oh, he's done. He's a bum. He's in his 40s, hanging up. Losing to Ryan Tannehill at home in a playoff game. Really? He's done. Goes on to Tampa, wins another Super Bowl. So that's just what we do as fans. We run them out. Hell, Joe Montana didn't stay a 49er forever. He's still salty about it. Went to Kansas City. So, we find, ways to hate even on the greatest of quarterbacks as fans. It happens. But if Brock Purdy wins one, yeah, that earns him, at least 5 years. I mean, hell, Joe Flacco got paid, right? Lasted a long time with the Baltimore Ravens. And he had a lot of playoff success. I'll say that for Joe. He did. But ultimately, his athleticism or lack thereof was the difference maker. They went on Lamar Jackson, never looked back. He wins MVP, yada, yada, yada. Rest is history. Is Joe Flacco still in the league, by the way? Is he a backup anywhere? Not with the Jets anymore, right? Let's look it up. Joe Flacco, free agent. Well, keep him in the back of mind, just in case we lose 3 quarterbacks this season again. Is Joe Flacco going to come save the day for the 49ers? A la Phillip Rivers, that was alluded to the last month or so. God, that story's still nuts to me. Going to Phillip Rivers in an emergency quarterback situation in the Super Bowl to get his only Super Bowl and beating Mahomes potentially to do it. Oh, it's funny. Football's funny like that, though, sometimes, right? 888-957-9570. More from Kyle Shanahan, this time talking about if he's decided which quarterback order for Friday's game, his final preseason game against the Go Chargers Go, Friday at Levi's. Does he know the quarterback order yet?
Sense on the order you're going to play the quarterbacks in this?
I haven't decided. No. Today's a big part of that and tomorrow. But we'll decide after these 2 practices.
And more from Shanahan, asked if he'll name quarterback 2 and if it can change throughout the season. This one's interesting. Take a listen.
Kyle, do you plan on announcing a number 2 quarterback, or are you going to wait till right before the game? And is that something that could rotate week to week throughout the season? How do you see that?
Yes, all that. I would think probably announce it before we play Pittsburgh, but not this game.
Do you think you could rotate throughout the week?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Is that our own Larry Krueger there asking the question? Krug show? Rotating the backup quarterback spot. Really? Why does that have to be so difficult with this team sometimes? That's just... Does Kyle Shanahan just love to play games and just wait till the last minute on everything? It doesn't need to be that serious sometimes. It doesn't need to be that secretive. Like I'm just a step ahead of everyone else. Just name your damn QB1 and QB2. It's not that hard. Just say, yeah, I'm going to wait to make that assumption after game 3, and then I'll announce them. Okay. But like, I got Tampa Bay out here. Todd Bowles already naming freaking Baker Mayfield QB1. It's not that hard. Like, I'm going back to what was that, March, April? Yeah, we got 3 quarterbacks that we really like that are going to have a chance to start this year. That was a lie. Just say it was Brock's team. Say it was Trey and Brock for the backup. We're going to see who wins through preseason, and then name QB2. None of this rotating crap. It's just... Again, I mentioned at the top of the show, It's a good thing he wins all the time, because some of these antics and mind games and, creative tension that he creates within the locker room and the media landscape, all this, it's too much. It's too much. It doesn't need to be this difficult. It doesn't need to be this complicated. Who's your damn QB1? Who's your damn QB2? Now, he's finally said it's Brock Purdy, that Purdy would have to melt in practice for anyone else to take his spot. Great. Could have said that 5 months ago. But he wanted to see how his arm would recover. His arm was fine. Surgery was fine. He's fine. It's all fine. So as soon as he found that out, he could have said it then. Waited this long. Now with QB2, it's going to be the same thing. Another question. Hey, who's going to be, we got the Giants at home. Is Brock going to be he's the starter, right? Okay, yeah, but who's the backup this week? Do we know yet? They're battling it out. We'll find out who's the QB2. This is something we're going to be doing all season. Really? Really? Who's the QB2 this week? Does any other team do that? It's just, Are we going to be doing that over in Vegas? Hoyer O'Connell, what a battle this week to see who may come in and get a game against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's stupid. It's stupid. 888-957-9570. We're going to take a quick break. Come on back. More Shanny from him talking to the media. More Brian Baldinger, who joined the Morning Roast yesterday. If you missed that interview, download the Odyssey app, favorite 95.7 The Game. You can find that entire thing there. You can also find us on Twitch and YouTube, powered by First NorCal Credit Union. We'll get to your calls, your texts, your comments, your tweets. You can follow me at Spadoni_Joe on X. I was going to do I used to do that all the time, but they don't do that anymore. Is it just a X? They should do that. They should have a little thing where whenever you receive an X now, it's just DMX's voice. X, gonna give it to him. R.I.P., baby. Come on back. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
America's favorite car show returns to the Bay Area for a jam-packed weekend of cool cars, cool people, and good times. It's the Good Guys 36th West Coast Nationals, happening all this weekend at the Alameda County Fairgrounds in Pleasanton. Cruise on out to see the West Coast's finest hot rods, muscle cars, and trick trucks. And don't miss a special indoor display of excellence featuring 40 years of Good Guys' top award-winning cars and trucks. And it's all happening this weekend in Pleasanton. Hang with the Good Guys, where real car people come to play. Get details at good-guys.
Big Pimpin' here on the pregame show. Spadoni on 95.7 The Game. Welcome in. Just waking up. Getting ready for school. I don't know, getting ready for a workout. Whatever you got to do. Appreciate you up and on here at this hour of the day. Been talking little Giants, little 49ers. Giants taking a big fat L yesterday. Camilo Doval, blown save. Trey Turner, still good at baseball. Bryce Harper, still good at baseball. Kyle Harrison, he may be. Showed some flashes, 3 1/3. Young phenom getting called up, making his major league debut out of De La Salle, by the way. 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks. 5.40 ERA after 3 1/3. Giants, another loss. Currently not in the wild card game or round at all. Fallen that far behind. But speaking of a team, as we segue back to the 49ers, teams not falling far behind, and teams I'm not worried about if they have a slow start, and I don't expect them to. 49ers. Week 1, Pittsburgh, less than 3 weeks away. No Nick Bosa yet. Kyle Shanahan's not worried about it. Brian Baldinger's not worried about it. Don't think you should be worried about it yet. If it's 1 week before, I think that's when you can start getting a little bit worried. 1 week. 2 weeks? Nah. 3? We'll see. But what we were talking about last segment at 888-957-9570, other than Kyle Shanahan's tactics and the way he speaks annoying the hell out of me, but I'm sure you can say that about me, the millions of you listening to this show every single day, all across our great nation, all around the world. We are global here at the pregame show. Netherlands, Australia, England, Mexico, Canada. We've had many a chime from various countries. India, did I say that? Shout out Morali. Appreciate you, buddy. So we're worldwide here. I should have a Pitbull opening somewhere like that. He's the real Mr. Worldwide. Mr. 305. Shanahan talking to the media yesterday. Asked if he'll, and this is Larry Krueger, our own Larry Krueger, asking if he'll name a quarterback too, and if it could change throughout the season. Take a listen.
Kyle, do you plan on announcing a number 2 quarterback, or are you going to wait till right before the game? And is that something that could rotate week to week throughout the season? How do you see that?
Yes, all that. I would think probably announced it before we played Pittsburgh, but not this game.
Do you think you could rotate throughout the week?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Rotate throughout the week, huh? Throughout the year. The backup spot. Like, why does it need to be that complicated? And does that signal to you that they want to keep these guys battling because they don't believe Brock's going to stay healthy all year? They think that he might regress. Why do that? Are they even going to do that? Or is that just BS that these blowing up or you-know-whats? Having a constant battle for QB2 throughout the season. I don't believe in that. And I do believe in sometimes there's creative tension. I get that. But what's that serving? Yeah, PR spin 187. I don't. That's on the YouTube chat. I don't get it either. Here's more from Shanahan talking about how Darnold has gotten better this offseason.
Just each day. I mean, coming here, not knowing the offense, not playing an offense similar to it. Just his command, getting in and out of the huddle where he is now compared to day one. He's been real consistent in everything that he didn't come in the first day just owning it all, because you can't when you don't have the experience. But each day that he's done it, he's gotten better and better, and he just looks more and more comfortable in everything he's doing.
And Lance?
This offseason was just kind of getting healthy again and redefining, how he throws, getting his balance. I think Trey, from when he got hurt to where he is now, completely, I think it helped him. It always helps to play through things and go through that stuff, but for him to sit back last year and really get to watch some stuff and know what he needed to focus on, because he did get that week and a half of playing. He did get the whole training camp, the whole preseason. He knew exactly what he was in for, and Unfortunately, he got hurt and didn't get to go through it. But I think he made a positive out of it because mentally he really saw what he had to improve on, just watching other guys go through it. And it's been pretty well documented, but I think he did improve on that stuff before he came back. And now improving on it before he came back has allowed him to get a lot better through all his reps.
Funny text here from the Xfinity mobile text line, 888-957-9570. And it's a good point. 650, Shanny tends to give annoying answers to questions he finds annoying. And that's kind of like I'm not going to call him a toddler, but that's, I've done that with my own kid before. My wife tells me, hey, don't meet him with his same energy. I was like, I know, but sometimes I'm trolling a little bit. To my 4-year-old, well, soon to be 4-year-old, young Benjamin. Love you, buddy. It's like, don't meet him with the same energy. You're the adult here. I was like, okay. But sometimes it's more fun that way. And I get it. Most of the time, I have to be more in the direct tone. Is like, don't meet him with the same energy. He's upset. Don't be upset. And I was like, I'm not. I just want the kid to just not eat the cookie before dinner. Just eat the chicken. It's like, yeah, but I was like, I'm not yelling. I'm just saying he can't have the cookie yet. And then I'm sorry. Too bad, so sad. Don't say too bad, so sad. That's not very nice. That puts him down. It's like, no, it doesn't. But apparently it does. Apparently I'm being the toddler when I say too bad, so sad. Invalidating his feelings. All the stuff I'm learning as a new father now, all these different ways. Different parental approaches. Jade was an only child. I had 9 siblings. We're battling and we're working through that. We were raised very differently. So, people might react different when they're parents with their children. But Kyle Shanahan, to your point, kind of acts like the parent with his children, the media, right? Yeah. I mean, there's so many drops we have at this station. I need to find a couple of them where it's just like, yeah, I don't even understand the question, man, so I'm not going to answer it. Or, yeah, you guys don't know what you're talking about. A lot of those where he's just, we're not on his level. And obviously that's true. Like, Kyle Shanahan is one of the best offensive minds the game has to offer, if not 1A, 1B with Andy Reid. He's in that conversation. We get that. But just take the Bill Belichick route at that point, instead of just meeting it with the same level of quote-unquote snarkiness or feeling that answering a certain question is so far below him that he doesn't even dignify it with a good response. Just go full Belichick on to Cincinnati. I'd honestly rather have that. Because I think Bill kind of realized it too. And maybe eventually Kyle will. He's still young. Bill started doing that when he was a little older in the game. Where he's just like, I'm not going to tell these guys anything, so I'm really not going to say anything. And then you may get a nice little vignette on a punter or kicker from 30 years ago. Bill loves to talk about that sort of stuff. But with Kyle, he may give you some good answers here and there. But for the most part, throughout the season, it's just creative tension. Yeah, I'm not going to reveal that yet. We're going to wait. Yeah, I think we're going to have a QB2 battle throughout the season. Maybe 1 week it'll be Darnold, 1 week it'll be Trey. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. He just harbors this creative tension in the locker room, in the media. Just go full Bill Belichick, bro. It'd be okay. Has he earned that status yet? Do you have to earn that? The way Bill speaks to the media, do you have to earn that sort of reputation? Does Kyle need to win the Super Bowl and then he can be like, we're on to Los Angeles? Because it's just funny because I don't remember his dad. His dad just looked angry all the time, Mike Shanahan, but he was fine. He just had the angry face. He was never that upset. He was just very calm, cool, succinct when he spoke. Maybe I'm wrong. 888-957-9570. I'll ask Joe Shasky about it next on the other side for the crossover. Get his thoughts on this whole quarterback 2 situation, his thoughts on Kyle Harrison, Phillies taking the win over the Giants and a walk-off with Trey Turner. All that coming up next right here on 95.7 The Game.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love.
another level here on the pregame show.
Big Blunt rolling?
Oh, let's go. Roll with Short Dog, baby. Come on. Roll with Shasky here on the Cross Show for a pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game. We've been discussing little Giants taking a walk-off loss last night to the Philadelphia Phillies, 4-2-3. Kyle Harrison had some good moments, but also got taken deep. Happens to the best of you. Welcome to the Bigs, kid. Overall, I was impressed with the stuff, but stuff only gets you so far, Joe Shasky, in the world of baseball. You got to have limit the damage, if you will. But he did, for the most part, 5 hits.
Look, I don't love this regime for the Giants, but let's take a step back. They've overachieved.
Okay.
All right. And I'm seeing so many people angry with how they lost last night. Sometimes that just happens. Like, I don't know. We could argue about walking Schwarber to get to Turner because Turner's hot. Schwarber does have a 2 for 3 with a home run against Doval. It's not the biggest sample size. Schwarber hits jacks and has hit these last 2 days, but Trey Turner's been much hotter. You can't avoid everyone. I don't know. It's a tough situation.
You have an all-star closer. He took the L. It's just
righty on righty. He's got better numbers. I don't know. Like, we can have that argument.
I guess they were talking about postgame. They wanted to see more sliders from him from Doval, but it just wasn't.
He kept shaking them off. But here's the other thing. Like, I was trying to explain to people. Like, sometimes, like, if you play catch every day, there are days where you spin the ball more than others. Yeah. There are days where your arm just feels better or your grip feels better. So I don't know about what the humidity was. I don't know what the bite was. I don't know what he was feeling. Who knows? Like, maybe he's just not confident in it.
Well, I remember back in that 2021 NLDS, that Game 5, he couldn't throw the fastball. Remember that against Bellinger? He kept throwing off speed until Bellinger just single. So maybe he just didn't feel confident in it.
It happens. But one quick second before we move on, because I want to move on.
No, totally.
There's nothing to be mad about, Giants fans. Look, you may not like Kapler and you may not like Farhan and the direction of how they feel the team. That I will listen to. But let's take a step back. They've overachieved. The fact they're anywhere near 500 is incredible. But then forget that. I don't care about the wild card. I know people do.
I think a lot of people do, though.
I don't. So, to me, that's not the litmus test. This year alone, you've had a decent record. I saw Matos play center field for a couple of months. I think he should play the rest of the year. Okay? I've had an opportunity to develop Doval into one of the premier closers. Logan Webb is legit. I don't know if he's an ace. He's definitely a 1 or a 2 in a rotation. Love him as a 2. I can have him as a 1. That's fine, right? We can argue about that. I got an opportunity to see Bailey every day for multiple months. I think he's an everyday player. He's the only guy to me of their farm that was ready, which is crazy because I didn't think he was ready at the beginning of the year. Schmidt, up and down performance all year. I like what I've seen. I think there's a player in there. He's taking better at-bats. Luciano, we had a little taste of, okay? It's not even September 1st. I have seen all of those guys, all right? Wade Meckler flew through the system. I don't know what Wade Meckler is. I'm open-minded. He looks really overwhelmed right now.
Had a hit yesterday.
But think about what I just said. We saw 5 different guys, okay, position players, play from their farm, and that's kind of all I wanted to see, a little taste of those guys. Now you mix in Harrison. And we could talk about Harrison and how many innings he's logged in the minors and blah, 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 blah.
Did you watch the game yesterday, by the way, real quick?
I watched the whole thing.
So funny. On the post-game show, they're talking about Matt Cain's debut. Threw 105 pitches in his Major League debut. 105.
Well, let me ask you this.
18 years ago. It's just fun to see how much the game has changed.
No doubt.
That would never happen today with one of your top guys.
But here's the pushback, and I've talked to I was texting a lot of different pitchers last night, and like their number one retort about the innings logs, right? Like he's only pitching 3 innings at a time. You're going to stretch him out. There is literally no scientific data at all that anyone can point to that says that when you minimize the amount of innings that you're pitching, you're dramatically reducing the amount of arm injuries, shoulder injuries. There is no correlation.
I understand why it's a game like they need to win in the standings and stuff like that. I would have liked to see him. I mean, this is your next future. I would like to see him at least try to get through 4, right?
Look, Joe.
Right?
I've given up that argument because this era is just different.
I know.
But I go back to, and there's some Philly sound that I think we should play today. The Philadelphia broadcasters kind of like explaining it. They've set him up for this all year, and all year I've thrown my hands up. And I'm just using one of the kids on my team. How does Rami Suda, 12 years old, how come he can go 80 pitches once a week And Kyle Harrison at 20, and he's 12, and Kyle Harrison at 22.
Well,
can't.
Is it Rami or Ronnie?
Yeah, I call him the Raminator.
Okay, well,
he was our best player.
Is Rami throwing 95 plus?
What?
Is he throwing 95 miles an hour?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
I know.
you correlate it, like, the kid, he plays every single day. Now, even then, I'm like, hey, Rom, you need to, like, take some time off, rest your arm, whatever. But, like, we built up, 60 pitch, and that doesn't include, ground balls and stuff he's getting at third. So, like, that's the thing when it comes to Farhan and Kapler and just the organization philosophy. I always ask, like, okay, wait a minute. You say it's a 60 pitch limit, right? For example, well, are they stress pitches?
Yeah.
Are there guys on base? Is he throwing all sliders? Are they all fastballs? Like, break it down to me. I want to know what exactly you're looking for.
Exactly. And if we're doing this whole math, if we're going all in on math and the calculations and the equations, all that sort of stuff, like maybe that's something to look at, like, right? Track, like, here, this is where he's at. This is where he's at.
What does your mechanic say?
Yeah, exactly.
Are they freeway miles? Are they city miles? What city? Are we talking about hilly San Francisco? Or are you in a flat area of Fresno?
There you go. Track and field.
You get what I'm saying? Like when you're
Track
talking about
and
your
field or
transmission.
cross country.
Exactly. When you're talking about your transmission.
Yes.
Don't those details matter?
They do. Speaking of mattering, the backup quarterback position, Joe Jaski, does it ever matter for the San Francisco 49ers? Our own Larry Krueger here at 95.7 The Game asked a question to Kyle Shanahan yesterday at media availability, and I want your thoughts on it.
Do you plan on announcing a number 2 quarterback, or are you going to wait till right before the game? And is that something that could rotate week to week throughout the season? How do you see that?
Yes, saw that. I mean, I would have think probably announced it before we played Pittsburgh, but not this game.
Do you think you could rotate throughout the week?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
We're rotating backup quarterbacks throughout the year. Seriously?
Yeah, but you do this at other positions. Do you not? Does let me honestly, like, I'm not even.
Those positions actually play, is the thing.
Running back. Okay, for example, running back. How many times have the Niners started with a running back who's RB2 at the beginning of the year? Matt Breida, great example. He went from like RB4 to RB2 to RB1 back down to RB3 by the time we got to the playoffs. Raheem Mostert went from a guy who was a special teams gunner. Now, there were injuries involved, but he went from special teams gunner to breaking the NFC record for most rushing yards in a game. We do this at other positions.
Okay, so is Brock Purdy just going to get hurt then? Is that basically what we're just saying?
No, but I understand why people would be outraged. I said this 2 or 3 days ago to Bonte. I don't think it's a static thing. I don't think it's like, hey, we locked this, we set it in stone, and that's the way it is all year. Like, we're not allowing for progression. Or regression.
I mean,
or performance. Like, form matters, no?
I guess, but like also it's the QB2. But like this shouldn't be this serious. Where's Trey at this week? Is he battling QB? Like, this is the question. I'm just fast forwarding.
I'm curious to hear this.
Week 3 or 4, it's like, so where's Trey and Darnold at this week? Who's winning that quarterback battle? Oh, I'm not. Trey's had a good practice this week. We'll wait and see. I'll announce it on this day. I was like, really? Just why does it have to be so damn difficult?
Because he kind of loves
it.
Why? I'm okay with it.
It doesn't have to be that hard to name your quarterback.
Okay, that's a fair counter.
It does not need to be this difficult. Just tell me who you want, Kyle. We all know who you want. Just say it.
Do you think he's creating the drama for himself or something? Like, what? I don't get.
No, he's creating creative tension between Trey and Sam to see who's going to win out. I get that from a sense. We have one more preseason game. After this week, I need to know who my QB2 is going forward. We better know that. I don't want this guessing game of it's Darnold or let one of those guys go.
But wouldn't we agree that we need, like, quote
Brandon
unquote,
Allen's your 3 then?
No,
at that
but
point.
Trey needs to play, right? Like that. There's this big narrative that like Trey needs to play, which I agree with.
Yeah, that's fine. He's not playing.
No,
unless
but
Brock
like
gets hurt.
But like if he's playing in practice and he's doing well, like the guy that he is at week 1.
Honestly, practice means nothing to me at this point.
Okay.
Because he was balling all throughout the summer and then he looked like crap against the Raiders.
All right.
Practice means nothing to me. Preseason games and then actual games at this point for Trey. Just real games.
I bet a lot of people feel like you do. Yeah. I'm just not triggered by it. I actually kind of like it. Could it be, and I'm asking out loud, this is just me hypothesizing, could it be that he's trying to retain trade value for either one of those players as we lead up to the cut date?
Maybe. What's the trade value of a Trey Lance? Or
forget Trey. What about Sam? Like, we keep talking about Trey.
I'll give you a conditional 6th round pick for Sam Darnold. If he starts 2 games for me, you get a 6th round pick. Is that fine? You take that?
I mean, I might as well just keep him.
There you go. Because that's what he's commanding on the market. I want Sam Darnold. Who wants him? Seriously, out there. What team wants Sam Darnold?
You telling me Tampa Bay wouldn't use him?
I'd rather have Baker Mayfield.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him win on Thursday Night Football on 2 days rest with the Los Angeles Rams.
I think they're very close.
Great. So exactly. They're tanking for Caleb anyways. What does it matter?
Yeah,
they want to
that's
lose.
true.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this market,
That's a good point.
This market out there for Sam doesn't exist.
You think McDaniels will take him?
Everyone else in the country is laughing at this situation because they know Sam Darnold stinks.
So what? Like, okay,
you gave up all this for Trey Lance. What are we doing?
So okay, your view of the Niners
Lord.
from the outside looking in is what?
It seems like this whole backup quarterback competition has just been fugazi. It's been, I don't get it.
So then what do you mean? Like he's cooked the books so that Trey loses or that Sam wins? Like, not that he has like a care. What's your
I don't
point?
know what he's doing.
Okay.
Is the thing. Honestly, that's what's driving me nuts, Joe Shasky. Like, he has this guessing game with that. I don't know what he's doing. I don't want this guy is so far out there. That's why I don't know if he caught it in my rant. I was like, just go Bill Belichick. Don't say anything. Just I don't know. He hasn't earned that right yet to do that because Bill, it took him even like 2 or 3 Super Bowls before he just shut up with everyone. He's like, I'm not saying anything to any of you guys. And I think Kyle's going to get there eventually if he wins the Super Bowl. But that's what I'd rather hear than all of this. Yeah, we're going to switch off these backup quarterbacks throughout the week. Maybe we'll see who's going to be the QB2 for, I don't know, week 4 against the Giants, week 3, whatever it is. It's like, shut up. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know any of this stuff. I get it. He was asked the question. You just said, we'll see. Just don't say anything else after that.
So, like, he's treating this quarterback, whatever, the depth chart like a petri dish. Do you think he's flirting with danger even a little? Like, if we come out of this year and there is some yo-yoing of the quarterbacks for whatever reason.
If Brock's not the guy,
injury, performance.
If Brock's not the guy, not to cut you off, sorry.
Yes.
If he's not the guy after this season, there's major problems. If we don't know that Brock Purdy's still not the guy, as John Lynch said.
But what about the part that they keep winning?
What's it? Yeah, but if I'm in this hypothetical, if he's not the guy, then they didn't win the Super Bowl.
No, that's what I'm saying. So let's say they make the playoffs. Oh, whatever. You take your choice. They lose in the first round. They lose in the second round. They lose in the NFC Championship game. They don't win the Super Bowl. They don't make the Super Bowl. But yet we still have this drama of quarterbacks. You're going to give them another chance to go hit the free agency or in the draft?
Well, give me Kirk at that point. Give me Kirk Cousins. Just give me the guy that he's been linked to his whole career.
You are so waiting for Kirk.
I'm just saying, at that point, that's a legit thing.
And the like 510, the media needs to stop asking questions.
No, we are not going to stop asking
that's their
questions.
Job.
That's literally their job. Stop the media. God,
Speaking of guys at the podium, or I guess in the clubhouse who look uncomfortable, Kapler looks really, really like at the end. Like, honest to God, I think he's feeling. I'm telling you,
you think he's managing for his job?
Oh, I think him and Farhan are done.
Wow.
Yeah. If Buster Posey has this much influence, I'm telling you right now, Buster is not feeling what's going on.
Wow.
You think Buster Posey was sitting there watching Kyle Harrison, like, this guy's logged 61 innings and 21 appearances this year in the minors? He's averaging 3? You think old school Buster, who I'm sure is very smart and understands the new trends of baseball, is sitting there like, Matos goes 2 for 5 one day, and he's not on the lineup the next day?
I know.
You think he's feeling that?
You know what I'm feeling? I'm sure Buster is too. It's the Morning Roast coming up next. Joe Shasky and Ponte Hill.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and